What's up everyone, it is Kamakazi here today, and today I'm going to be looking into the new rebalancing that we have coming to Warbots tomorrow, guys. And that is going to be coming into the test server, and we're going to test it out, see what it is like. And you know what? It is a pretty big change that we have here. So basically, this is the second part of the series of rebalancing that Pixonic is doing for their update 5.3. And it includes, before we had the Raven, and just the Raven and the Punisher and all that stuff, nerfs and buffs and crap. And now we have the Ares-Hades-Nemesis coming along, and it's pretty interesting, guys, I gotta tell you. So, first of all, we have the Ares. So the speed is decreasing by 25%. Ares is the main part of this show, guys. This is the main thing in the battle. You know, this bot is hyper overpowered in Champion League. It's overpowered everywhere. But I cannot go into a Warbots match and not see this thing come up on the battlefield. It's something that we see every single day. It's something that we see. These Ares are coming out every single battle and just destroying you. They're overpowered and need a nerf. So this is Pixonic's nerf, and I think it's perfect, honestly. And I definitely don't say that a lot. You know, there are a lot of things in this like list of nerfs and buffs that I am not excited about, and I think they missed out on a lot. But like Ares nerf, thank God, I think it's perfect, actually. It keeps it still very powerful, but at the same time, keeps it from being overpowered. There's a difference between it being meta and overpowered, guys. There is a fine line between that, and Ares cross that, it's overpowered. So thank God, it's coming back down. But I do have an issue. Where's the Aljun nerf? The Aljun rivals the Ares, guys. The Aljun is, I would say, almost as powerful as the Ares. So I know that as soon as the Ares like leaves its throne of being king, the Aljun is just gonna come in. So I hope that maybe there's a third part to all of this, and then they add in some other nerfs and buffs, because this nerf and buff list, in order to get a good meta in, we need a lot more than just this. Next up, we have the Hades. Now, as a Hades owner, I know that the Hades always has followed the Ares shadow. You know, it's always behind that, and the people really don't play it. It's still very powerful, and I would even say overpowered. You know, playing this bot, it's always a double kill. It's always going to be like, I am destroying people, guys, because the Hades is really and truly powerful, overpowered, guys. And so this is a nerf right here. So we do get a little bit of extra durability right there, like 16,000, which is about a 15% buff of durability. Now we also get a 1 km/h speed boost, which is like nothing. And then we get 15% less speed when in its ability. So when you run that ability, man, you're going to lose a lot of speed, which is great. And I think that that's going to be perfect because, again, as I said, when the Ares gets nerfed, something is going to take its throne unless Pixonic takes some measures to stop that. And thank God the Hades is getting a nerf alongside the Ares, but also the Aljun needs a nerf. So, next up we have the Nemesis, and this is something that I'm like, what? Why are they nerfing it? So they're nerfing it by 15% and giving just a little bit of extra durability and a little bit of extra speed. Now, I am not so happy about this, because, you know what? The Nemesis really does not need this nerf. It's not a very powerful, like, bot, in my opinion. I've run it on the test server before, and it just doesn't do very much damage. I've gone up against it, it's weak. It is a weak bot compared to the Hades and Ares, and I don't think it's overpowered whatsoever. I think it's perfect. It is perfect where it is. You know, it's weak compared to these Hades and Ares. It's weak compared to them. You don't need this nerf. So, I think Ares and Hades, that nerf is perfect, but I don't think we need a Nemesis nerf. Now, you know, it does come down to the test server, but I'm not so happy about that. Next up, we have the Raven. So the Raven has definitely just, no one runs it. No one gives a crap about the Raven. No one really likes it because it's so just weak. It is a Griffin, but with a double jump, and it takes for like 40 seconds to recharge both of those abilities, and that kind of sucks. So here we have like a little bit of a durability buff, just a little tiny bit of a durability buff, and then we have 3 extra km/h of speed, which is not very much. It's about a little bit over 5%. And then we have right here, this is the big thing. When it uses its ability, it gets 20% extra damage for 8 seconds. Now that is going to be big. That is the big factor in this bot, because when you were flying up there, man, that's the time to attack. When you're jumping, it's the time to attack. That's when you're going to unload all your orkans, whatever, and you're going to need that damage boost. So that's definitely going to make the bot. I think, you know, it's, you could buff this thing a lot, and it still wouldn't be very, like, in the meta. So I think, you know, this is a great buff, but it's not going to do very much for the Raven's case. It's not going to make the Raven very much, like, more powerful. It's just not. Sorry to burst your bubble, but that's the facts. Next up, we have the nerfs and buffs of the machine guns. So these kinetic weapons, it's the kinetic weapons without any of the shotguns. It's all the machine guns. So, you know, I don't know. Let's go through this. So Punisher and Punisher T suck. I remember being in the lower leagues, being a complete noob, running the Punisher. It did nothing. I quickly switched it out for something like Thunder or something. I quickly went from running, you know, my Griffin or whatever, and I just went straight to, like, Natasha, because with Thunder, because I actually did some damage. And the Punisher and Punisher T, they suck. They suck so much, even in lower league battles. Like, don't even get me started in Champion League. Like, with Punisher and Punisher T, you're not going to do anything. But even in lower leagues, they suck. So we have a straight buff right here, and it is ammo. It gets about, like, a little bit over 10% of a boost in ammo. So it's going to be able to run for a little bit longer, which is great. I'm excited for that. And then we have reload time turns down to 8 seconds. So that is a decent amount less of reload time. And that is going to allow for this bot to be able to fire for longer and reload for less. So you are going to be on the battlefield for longer firing. And although, you know, the DPS or the damage output is not going to change, you're just going to be able to fire for longer, which is pretty great. You know, Punishers, again, unless you buff it a lot, they're not going to ever be, like, meta or very powerful. So I think this is perfect. It's a lower league weapon, so I don't have too much to say about it. Then we have the Avenger. As an Avenger runner, I run the Aljun, which already is overpowered, and they put on the Avengers, and it just smacks. Oh my god. You know, and Avenger is the supreme heavy weapon currently. Yes, people can argue, yeah, Redeemer and Embers are run sometimes, but, like, when I think Aljun, I think Avenger. It's the wombo combo right there, guys. You know, some people run Redeemer, some people run Ember, some people run Glory and stuff, but the Avenger is a thing that people just run on any bot, really. Mercury's, you're running Avenger. Aljun, running Avenger. You know, it's always going to be Avenger. So this is a slight nerf, but at the same time, it's not very much. It's just a little change, I think. So the shot interval is going to take longer. It's going to take like 10% longer, which will basically make it less DPS, or less damage output right there. So with the accelerations, all that stuff. So it's like 10% longer between the shots. And then reload time is turned down to 8 seconds. So the reload time, they want it at 8. So I'm not too angry about that. You know, the reload time for some of these Avengers and stuff is like so long and annoying and boring. So I'm excited to see it go down. But I think this is a okay change around. I think the Avenger just needs a straight nerf. Straight nerf. Just turn down the shot interval and we're good. That's my opinion. As an Avenger runner, I know it's very powerful. Going up against Avengers, you know, it's very powerful. It needs a nerf. We have to admit that. There we go. And then we have the mullet and mullet T. Now, I am not a camper, guys. I have not run long range in, you know, I ran the Kolzak Hussar, but we can't count that. I mean, like, I haven't actually run, like, long range for months now. Like, I just don't want to run it, you know. When I'm using my meta hanger, like, I don't run long range at all. So I'm not a camper. I'm not for camping. I hate camping. I hate campers. So, you know, thank God, like, these things, mullets aren't that powerful. But I do have to admit, like, going up against mullets, like, I don't care. I really could not care less. If they're firing at me, they're doing, like, so little. And my philosophy for war robots is that the meta should be as much as possible. As many weapons as we can stuff into the meta, that's the better. You know, even if it is some camping weapons, as long as they are balanced compared to the other weapons, not underpowered, not overpowered, and we have everything coming in. We can have in clan battles all kinds of different weapons. I'm good with it. So I'm happy to see the mullets getting a buff because they're very underpowered, even in lower league battles. So I'm happy to see that, and I hope that they don't become too overpowered, because we should not be teaching some of our lower league players that, oh yeah, camping is the best, because that would suck. Alright, next up we have the Tempest. The Tempest, again, has been very underpowered, and it's a meta. It's a meta, it's not meta, it's a Champion League weapon. It's a component weapon. It's super expensive. So the Tempest should be powerful, but it's not. Again, when I'm going up against the Tempest, when I am, like, rolling around and the Tempest is firing at me, I could not care less, because it does nothing. So, with that being said, they're nerfing it, in a sense. It's a change up, but it's a little bit of nerf. And honestly, I think the Tempest should get the same kind of buff as the Mullet and Mullet T and the Punishers and Punisher T, rather than like the Nerf thing with a shot interval. So I'm a little bit annoyed about that, but I don't think it's too big of a deal. 8 seconds, reload time, that's better. But the shot interval, I don't think it needs to be nerfed, really and truly. That's just my opinion. I don't know about you guys. Again, I'm not pro camper, but like, as many weapons as we can get into the meta as possible, I'm all for that. Because it's kind of annoying when you're going up against Ares upon Ares and then Aljun upon Aljun. The same weapons, the same robots, the same builds. It just gets annoying. So you want different weapons and different things, like, coming in. I want to go into a battle, and I don't want to have to go up against, like, Ares upon Ares. I want to have to go up against all different kinds of bots with all different kinds of playstyles. And that's what I think Pixonic should be going for here. And I think if they're just doing these nerfs, if these nerfs and stuff were to be released into the live server right now, Aljun would suddenly become king, and then, none of this would really matter. And it would kind of suck, That's just my opinion. I don't know about you guys. Like, tell me it. Seriously. I do read comments, a lot of comments. Like, I probably can sit down and for like 20 or 30 minutes just look at your comments. So I really do read them, and I try to respond, but sometimes I don't. I don't know, it depends how I'm feeling. I try to respond. So, next up we have, this stuff has been around for a while, but the Behemoth and the Phantom. So, they haven't seemed to really change it, except I think the Phantom got, like, some more resistance. That's pretty much it. That's all I know of. So, the Phantom used to have, like, 33% resistance. Now it has 50% during the ability. I don't know really why they buffed it. Here's my deal with the Phantom. It's one of those dangerous bots. It is a dangerous and slippery slope. We saw with the Loki. Everyone was afraid of it, and I am. Seeing the Behemoth, the one with the 4 heavy weapon slots, I know everyone freaks out about that. I'm not freaked out about it. I really could not care less. This is the bot. The Phantom is the bot that I'm nervous about. Because you know what? It has a power that nothing like a Behemoth has. It has the power to select which battles it wants to get into. And that is something that is insanely powerful in war robots. And the Loki is exactly like that. The Loki has that stealth, it has that infinite stealth. So, it doesn't like its opponent, it doesn't like going up against an Ares, it just runs away in stealth, and the Ares can do nothing about it. And that's exactly what the Phantom. It doesn't like going up against the opponent it's going up against, boom, shifts all the way back, and then, you're kind of screwed. And that really sucks. So it's a slippery slope, but I think the Phantom isn't too hard to balance. And I don't want this buff. I don't want them buffing it to like 50%, resistance. I don't really want that. I love resistance coming into war robots. Like, we get a lot more resistance now. It's becoming more prominent. We saw it with the Fenrir, now, we have the suppression bots and the Falcon. Like, it's all coming together, and suppression is becoming massive in war robots. It's becoming a thing that's in every single robot at this point that's coming out. And you really have to watch out for this robot, because what I want it to be, I wanted it to be a little bit slower. So I think what it should have is should be going 50 kilometers per hour, and the speed boost should be 25 kilometers per hour. Because if it can just shift instantly anywhere, it can just teleport anywhere instantly, that's very overpowered, and it's going to lead to some issues. Like, let me give you an example. Let's say you're going for center beacon, and then suddenly, like, 4 people just come right on top of you. You can just shift straight away. I honestly think the Phantom, like, it's a slippery slope, but if you balance it right, this bot could be amazing. Like, imagine, like, invader is coming right at you, jumping up, and he's about to suppress you, but oh no, you just dash away with your little, your, whatchamacallit, your teleport, and then, boom. That would be so fun. I'd have so much fun with this bot. But, again, it needs to be balanced. Next up, we have the Behemoth. So the Behemoth hasn't really been changed, and I'm not so worried about it. You know, I remember a year ago, back when my channel was starting, I was joking around, and I was like talking about like 4 heavy weapon slots. I think that video is privated now, because, you know, it's very cringy, very bad. Like most of my videos today, but I mean, my videos today are a lot better than they were before, even though they're still pretty bad. But, you know, I remember joking around, like this was during the Spectre meta, guys, you have to remember, and it was like 4 medium weapon slots. And I was like, you know, if a robot with 4 heavy weapon slots came into the game, I'm just quitting. Like, dude, no. And here we are today, and it's like, son of a gun, man. Like, we have 4 heavy weapon slot robot coming out. And that would scare the crap out of me, but honestly, the way Pixonic has balanced it, it's not too bad. Because, like, when it's in the ability, it's like, it's frozen. It can't move. So that's cool. I don't think it's going to be meta at all, really and truly. So I think maybe even a little bit of a buff maybe could help out, but again, Slippery Slope, it's got 4 heavy weapon slots, so I mean, you don't want to buff it too much, because it does have 4 heavy weapon slots, and although I'm not as scared of it, like, dude, it is 4 heavy weapon slots. We gotta like, worry about that a little bit. But it obviously hasn't been doing too bad in the test server. It hasn't been too hard to kill. Yeah, that's my idea. And then they didn't really mention it here. I don't know what happened to it, but the phase shift module, I think that's what it was called. So basically, what's going on here is that we have a new active module coming out, and I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't. I haven't gotten a chance to play with it. Like, dude, I was on vacation, so I haven't had a chance to really play around with even the rebalance. Like, I haven't had a chance to play around with some of the rebalances here. But like, I remember watching a video of it. So basically, for like 5 or 6 seconds, you're invincible. You can't hurt anybody, but nobody can hurt you. And I'm a little bit worried about that, because let's understand here, we have stuff like the Ares that still, even we do have that nerf there, you know, it's gonna still be powerful. It's going to be able to go into that shield. It's gonna have 8 seconds. Then, you know, boom, you work it down to its last stand, and then boom, it goes straight into phase shift. You're gonna have so much invincibility. It's gonna be unbelievable. And I don't want it to be like a module where, like, if you're in a clan battle, you have to use it in order to win. I don't want it to be like that. So I don't think it's too overpowered, because again, you can't hurt anybody with it, but it's going to change the meta, because if you walk up for a beacon, even, you know, you can instantly activate that, and I don't know if you can cap beacons with it. You shouldn't be able to cap beacons with it. That's my opinion. But like, if you try and cap a beacon with it, and then you're just in phase shift, and that's gonna kind of suck. Like, imagine a robot like that just runs out, caps your beacon that you've worked so hard to get. Like, your team has just been like destroying everything, trying to get that center beacon, and then suddenly this random kid with his freaking Loki walks out there with his phase shift and then just instantly caps it again, and then you're screwed. I don't want that. I really don't. So I'll have to see what happens on the test server, but like, dude, I'm a little worried about that. This is a big update, man. It is big. We have a lot of new stuff. 5.3 is going to be a bombshell, and I really hope that they add some more rebalancing to it, like a rebalance of the Aljun and a lot of different bots, because we need a better meta. Right now, the meta that's going around is not good. In the past, I think, since the start of my War Robots career, which was about a year and a half ago, you know, the meta's been all over the place. I came in about a couple months after the Spectre came out, and the Spectre was already like destroying everything. And everyone was just annoyed because, like, the dash bots instantly just died. And then we had Spectre. And then after that, you know, it got nerfed. Hellburner. And then we had Ares come into play. And now Aljun's coming into play. And then Invader. And it's like, the meta changes. Like, I don't know if I'm going to wake up tomorrow and boom, the meta's different. I'm going to have to rebuild my entire hangar. They need to get a more stable meta. Because, honestly, people are saying it's a business strategy. And honestly, I kind of believe that. Like, they're fixing up the meta. Like, changing it up so the top tier players have to pay to like, get their new meta hangar to stay in their clan and stuff. And that seems logical, honestly. and I hope that's not what they're doing. But like, dude, we need a better meta because, oh my god, it just sucks sometimes. Because robots, you know, they're overpowered. You buy them, and then boom, instant nerf, and it's like, it sucks. It's a sucky feeling. Like, I remember the day my Hellburner got nerfed. The Hellburner, dude, that thing smacked, man. It was like instantly, you were running up, you were getting 3 beacons, and then like 1 or 2 kills, and then you were dead. And I didn't even have a full MK2, like Hellburner or anything. But it was just overpowered. And then, you know, you nerf it. And now you have nothing. It's still powerful, but it's like nothing. Doesn't do very much anymore. Alright guys, that's the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'm going to see you next time. Have a great day. Alright. Really, have a great day, my dudes. And thank you so much for all the support I've been getting.